whatever it is you're wishing for to come in, you have to understand that there's a balance, a universal balance, that something may have to go, or for something to change, something else is going to have to change. So it may feel like karma, or why is this happening to me? Because we always want to know, what did I do to deserve this? But what we don't see is the scope of the bigger picture in why is this happening for me? It's hard to see it from where we're at, but down the road you'll understand. You're going to see it much better after the fact. And I know it's hard to say that. I'm there with you because I go through the same things that you guys go through on a daily. I'm working through all this stuff too. And I too see new beginnings in my future. But when I think about the new beginnings that I might have, I also recognize that there's going to be some endings. As an example, and this isn't pertaining to anything that I'm doing, but say we have a person, for instance, that does like a YouTube page, and they want to, say they want to venture out and start like a talk show on TV. But in order to start a talk show on TV, they would have to open up much of their time. So for them, they would have to possibly end something such as this, but maybe someone of that, in that spot has maybe 100,000 plus followers, and they're feeling this kind of sadness and, regret or remorse about ending something like this in order to start something new. But they really can't start that new until they close the other door, because they just simply, they can't dedicate all themselves to this while dedicating all themselves to that, if that makes sense. Just as an example. So with every ending comes a new beginning, and if you're wishing heavily for a new beginning, you're going to have to understand that there's going to be some changes happening in your life. And it's bring me back to that movie, The Butterfly Effect, when, if you've seen it, when every time that he would change one minor little detail in order to have a better outcome for someone in his life, so that way, their life was better, something else changed, or maybe someone else's life changed. So we just have to always remember, karma isn't always a negative saying. I know people like to use it a lot, like, oh, you're gonna get your karma, but in actuality, it's just like the other side of the wheel. It's the balance. It's whatever you're wishing for, there's got to be balance. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So that's like the message I'm getting, is like you have to understand this. I don't know why Spirit really wants me to put that out there. So someone out there really needs to hear this right now, is that if you're trying to have your cake and eat it too, that's not going to happen. You have choices, and you have to make choices. And if you're wishing for a different outcome and a different ending, then you have to be ready to accept the fact that other things are going to change in your life. As simple as that. The next two cards we have out, we have some news coming in. And this news is something that you may need to defend yourself about. And this could be with a former boss, because it came in reverse. So news, ex-boss, defense. So you might need to be trying to protect yourself, your character. There's something happening with an ex-workplace boss situation. Something's being exposed, either about you or about the workplace or the ex-boss. And it's got you feeling a little bit of anxiousness and fear at this time. And that could be why you walked away and also why your mental health is taking such a toll right now. So when I asked Spirit for advice in regards to this situation, the 3 cards that came out are love, 1, hate. And the message that Divine is saying is love always wins over hate. And that doesn't matter what the situation is, because everyone's story is going to be different. Everyone's story is different here. We all have different things going on. But love always wins over hate. So no matter what, you approach every single thing that's thrown at you, this news, your karma, the things that are changing, this ex-boss of yours, whatever is happening right now in your life, that love prevails, kindness, patience, moving carefully, not to a point of cautiously, maybe a little cautious, but moving not irrationally, not making irrational choices, or being quick to argue, or being quick to temper, or getting yourself overly emotional to a point to where you're yelling or screaming, or you're working out of your ego and not your heart space. Because I know I can sometimes shift to my ego quite quickly. I guess the good thing is having, done this spiritual work and like being in this arena for my passion, I am much quicker to see what's going on with myself in the heat of the moment. Because I'm not perfect by any means, but I do recognize when I am in my ego with people, family, friends. And the one thing that I've noticed as of recent is when I am in my ego and I say something a little snarky or sarcastic in a way to, one up someone, perhaps, I almost immediately feel this kind of remorse, a regret. It hurts me almost, I think, more than it hurts them. And then, you get stuck again in your mental space of, oh, why did I do that? And, I thought I was better than that. And I thought I grew. And, you can start actually being your biggest critic, and you can start pulling yourself down in your frequency, your vibration, your heart space. You start closing your heart off because of all your own self-talk of criticism and doubt. So that's a reminder for all of us. Spirit just wants to keep reminding us that no matter what it is that you're facing, as long as you keep an open heart and you speak your truth without hurting or being in your ego or being prideful or trying to jab someone or gaslight someone or provoke or to hurt intentionally, if you can speak your truth without doing all those harmful things, you're going to win. It's a hands down. Spirit will always have your back, and the universe will always work to better your situation if you're operating from the heart. It's a reminder. We all need to remember that. Even when we're facing someone else that's not operating from their heart, it can be hard because we immediately want to level up with them. We want to be like, oh, I may be spiritual and I may be a loving person, but if you're going to go there, I can bring it too. That's a scary place. That's lowering yourself to someone else's level just to make them feel the hurt that you're feeling from them. And we have to rise above that. We have to. Because again, the universe will help us and will support us and will create a more harmonious life and will give us the wishes and the endings and the beginnings that we need and so much want for ourselves, as long as we're operating from a place of love. So that is the message for this week going into holidays. And I feel like maybe this is something that you need to also hear right before the holidays, right before you see family, commune with friends, go to these holiday get-togethers and events. You may be meeting people or having reunions with family members that you particularly never got along with. Or maybe there's someone in your family or your friend group that just triggers the hell out of you to reacting, and they pull you right up out of your, place of peace and harmony, and next thing you know, you're having it out at the dinner table with someone over something really silly and trivial, and it's not really the topic that is heating you up. It's the way it was delivered and the person that delivered it, and then you drop into your ego and you start acting out, and you just don't want people to treat you that way no more. So it's hard. It is trying to set boundaries for yourself without lowering to other people's levels. It's a fine line, and it's an art, in my opinion. It takes a lot of restraint, a lot of patience, a lot of understanding and maturity to not do that. So just keep that in mind going into the holidays and going into the get-togethers, to keep yourself even, balanced. Don't let anyone bring you down. Don't stoop. Rise above and always operate in love. So that is your message. I hope it helped you guys. I know I found it very helpful for myself, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.